Closing is always easy when you're in Cardone U. We role play with Grant Cardone's team. They know just what to do. They're always there to support us. We couldn't ask for more. On our way in the right direction, we found what we're looking for. In FLC, in FLC. Closing is better with appointment setters. You'd better believe we're not a team but a family. We work together in harmony. We are devoted, on that you can quote me, in FLC. We welcome the newbies gladly. We know there's so much to learn. We've got your back for a lifetime. There's no need for concern. Just look at the world around you. There's deals to close everywhere. And if you face an objection, what would Jabari say? In FLC, in FLC, objections are easy. If you don't believe me, I have to agree. We can role play at any time. To disagree, that is a crime. We're practicing to get the cha-chings in FLC. In FLC. Since we started training, our leads ain't complaining. They're so happy. We get to role play with Big Brother Dave. We've got Coach Sean, the best coach ever born in FLC. All of our closers, they keep their composure. 10X is the goal, Uncle G, well he knows. We've got the spirit, and you've got to hear it. We're FLC.
Hoo-ha, hoo! Hello everyone. I'm so excited to be back. Yeah, it always feels like so long since like the last one, because I just want to do this all the time. So hello, we are back with another FLC hangout with your hosts Josie and Misty. So yeah, today's topic is time management and success rituals. So what do all the millionaires and billionaires do? How do they manage their time? How do they get so much done in a day to make all this money? So let's get straight in. I wanted to first off ask you, Misty, why do you think this topic is so important? And I feel like not enough people know about this. Why do you think it is so important?
I think it's important because, like you said, not enough people know about it. We all want to be rich. We all want to be successful. But a lot of us are always thinking, I don't have time. When in reality, it's not that you don't have time. It's we don't always know how to manage our time, or in Grant Cardone speak, control our time as opposed to managing it. Don't manage it, control it. Yeah. So we don't always know how to control that. And I think knowing the little things to change in your everyday, I want to say schedule or rituals or things you do all the time, I think can make a huge difference to whether or not you end up, either way, I think you'll end up successful if you're going to put the time in. But I think you'll end up more successful and doing it faster if you just add some little tweaks to your schedule, to your routines, I should say. What do you think?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, because it's a difference between knowing that you do need to manage your time and control your time, and actually knowing how to do it and implementing it. And it's so much easier than I thought before learning about it, and I feel like a lot of people think. And we have so much good stuff to share with you. So Misty and I were speaking just before the live, and we might have to do this in two parts because there is so much gold here. So this part will be time management, and part two will be success rituals. So starting off with time management, the first thing Grant says is look to control your time rather than manage it, which is what Misty said. He says to take the time that you have right now, so you might have 10 minutes, and condense as much as you can into it. This is actually a separate point, but he says kind of split your day into 15 minutes. So say you have 10 minutes right now, 15 minutes right now. Do as much as you can in this 10 minutes, and you'll be so surprised at what you actually can do in 10 minutes. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's awesome because I think it gives us a new perspective on how we're managing our time and how much we can actually do and get done in the 10-15 minute blocks.
Yeah.
You know, when you're making cold calls and you're dialing people, it's amazing how many dials you can do in those 15 minutes. You're sitting here thinking, oh my God, I have to do shooting low. We're aiming low. If we go 50 dials a day, how you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, this can take me all day long. Reality, you can get it done within an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just taking it and breaking it up into 15-minute blocks, and it's everything becomes so much easier and much more manageable.
Yeah.
And you feel much more confident and like you've accomplished more. It's just taking that and implementing it into your time and really focusing on breaking your time up and getting as much as you can done in that is an incredible thing.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that, by the way, because, you know, I get into my calls and messaging people, and I just get in the zone and I just keep going and keep going and keep going. I have to remind myself, okay, you got to get up and move and take a break, and then you got to come back to it. So
Yeah.
I'm still working on that one, but it's incredible.
Yeah. No, that's the thing, because I also used to think that you would need to set aside like an hour or hours to do something. For example, cold calls. You need to just set aside, let's say 3 hours. I'm just plucking that number, and just go, 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 go for 3 hours. But what Grant says, and obviously follows success. So he says split it in 15 minutes. Get as much as you can done in those 15 minutes. Don't look at anything else, nothing else, no text messages. What you're doing right there has your full attention for those 15 minutes. And then you can take a little break, very short break. He says like 40 seconds, doesn't he? And go again, another 15 minutes, bam, 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 bam. So yeah, I'm like you. I'm still working on kind of splitting it in that way, like splitting my days that way. It feels weird right now.
Yeah, it does. It's when you're adopting these new I keep wanting to say rituals, these new techniques into your time on a daily basis. It it's it can be kind of daunting to start with. I'm sorry, Javaria's over here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so focused on Javaria. Anyway, it can kind of seem overwhelming to start with. And because I'm not a very disciplined person, so I'm still working on becoming more disciplined when it comes to changing my rituals and my techniques and stuff. But when you start doing it and then you realize, you know what, it's not as difficult as I thought it was, it becomes a lot easier. And then just to adapt that into your time. And then after a while, you're like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I've always done this. You know,
Yeah.
it feels like it's natural. I've always done this. And I never wasted time before, or, you know, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean, right? Like it's, you just feel like you've done it forever and it's just becomes second nature. And so that's what you really want to do.
Yeah, no, exactly. I get that completely, because I also think about that. It's crazy how fast these things can become habit. And by the way, I wanted to say this at the beginning. If you're watching live, or you're watching on the replay, make sure you have a notebook and pen with you, because you're going to want to write these things down. They have already, in this week that we've learned them, changed my life. That sounds very dramatic, but change the way I do things, which will
Mhm.
ultimately change my life. The second point we kind of discussed in the first point, which is schedule your day in 15-minute blocks. He says do as much as you can in 15 minutes rather than 1, 2, 3 hours, and cram into these 15 minutes. So we talked about that kind of in the first point as well. So the third point, there is lots here. So this might even be a series, this topic. But the third point is make quality time for your family every day, which when I first heard this title and heard him talking about this, I was like, what? This doesn't have to do with business. This doesn't have to like do with making money. But Grant Cardone's a family man, and as we all should be. You can. I think it's quite easy to get so caught up in chasing this dream of being financially free, and it can be very time consuming in the beginning when you're going after this thing. But he says to try and find a way to make that visit or make that call every day to the people that are important to you. Which, when I heard him talk about it, I was like, yeah, it's so true. It's the business game is very much a lifestyle, and family has to be part of that.
Yeah, I like that he added this. I like that he added this in there because of the fact that that's got to be me anyway.
Wait, can you hear it? You can hear the.
I can hear it. Yeah.
I think the viewers can't hear it though. So as long as the viewers can't hear it, we'll.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I like that he added that in there because I think family is very important. And when you hear Grant Cardone talk, you feel like when you first hear him talk, you're like, he is so obsessed with making money. He doesn't care about anything else. Like he only wants to make money 24/7. He doesn't care about being with his family. And that's so not true. He does it because of his family, and he does it, and I like the fact that he sets a time aside every single day to make sure it's quality time for each individual person in his family. And yet he's still doing business. You know what I mean? He's like worked that in there. So he's letting you know family is very important on an everyday basis. And it shouldn't be ignored just because you want to be rich. And I really like that he added that in there because I think some people will get turned off by the fact that, hey, you need to do business all the time. You always need to stay business focused. And that's fine. And that's really good. You should be business focused. But you also need that downtime and that family time.
100%. It is. I know that I'm cackly for you right now because you were cackly for me. If no one knows what we're talking about, we can't really hear each other that well. But as long as like you guys can hear, it's fine. But yeah, it is so true because family is so important, and like I said, it's the whole lifestyle. Like it's not separate. You shouldn't separate your work and family. If that makes sense. It's all this one lifestyle that you have. So you've got to make time for everything important, and that includes family. He says to put it on your calendar. Even you might have a calendar of everything you need to do today. Put the make my call to mum on your calendar so that you don't forget. Yeah, very, very important.
Yeah, I like that he put it on his calendar, but he also adjusted his schedule to help fit in with his kids. So, like, if his kids have to get up and they have to go to school every day, he adjusted his schedule so he can be with them in the morning, spend at least an hour with them every day in the morning, helping them with their I keep coming back to rituals. Their rituals and what they need to do every day to get started and get going to get off to school. So I really like that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. it's so hard to take you seriously with the robotic voice.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it is very important. The next thing is he says keep statistics on everything important. So everything. This is also another quote. He says everything that generates something of value, keep track of. So this can be like money in, money out, like money being spent on investments, or everything that is valuable and it affects you. Keep track of it. Even amount of time spent with family, everything important. He says that keeping stats allows you to be logical and unemotional and shows you where you can start moving the bar up. If you're averaging somewhere, you can time to move that up. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, he even says, when you're doing business, like the cold calls, keep the statistics on that too. How many calls did you make? How long did it take you? What was said? What was their objection? How did you handle it? Everything, because that'll give you something to look back on and learn from, so you can adjust where it needs to be adjusted to be able to close more deals and get better results, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like he says, the next point, not next point, but in this point, he says, if you don't measure your own mystery, which is so true. The times that when I was making cold calls and I wasn't measuring like how long it took me to do 50 or how many I would get through to if I did 50, I felt unmotivated because I didn't know what to expect. And he also says, nice transition there, it keeps you motivated, excited and focused, which is so true, because when you can see the trends that you're having down on paper, like physically see it, you just understand it on a whole different level, which is, I feel, one of the, what's the word? I don't want to use important again. I had a word. I'll just use important. It's important to know where you're at in all these areas, because then you can properly go and work towards them and work towards moving the bar up. If you don't know your numbers, there's no way you can do that.
Yeah, I keep thinking crucial. Crucial.
Yes.
So
thank you. Good word. Crucial. Word of the day. Crucial. If you're taking notes, write that down. Word of the day. Crucial.
Crucial. Yeah.
Yeah. Next, one which I personally have loved is keep a full calendar. It's quite funny. I find that we watched this as a team because I was talking to my mum not long ago about how much better I feel when I'm busy all day, and how much I feel like I get so much more done when I'm busy. So he says, put it on a calendar and out of your head. So don't think in the morning, oh, I need to do this. Write it down. Otherwise, you will forget. You're a busy person, you'll forget. It's fine. Put it on a calendar. Yeah. What do you think?
I like this because he says to keep a full calendar. I swear this audio does not like us. I like that he says keep a full calendar, and I think that's something that I personally am working on. And I like the fact that he says that the devil is in the white spaces. So in other words, if you have spaces in your calendar where you're don't have anything to keep you busy, then you're basically allowing yourself time to do something that is not productive and that is counterproductive to where you want to go and what you want to be, right? Where you want to be at. So keeping your calendar busy, keeping it full, staying on top of it. Like he won't, I think it was him who was talking about, he won't go out to a bar and have beer with friends. I think there was, at one point, he said he had 21 days where he said no to everybody. He didn't want to go out and party. He didn't want to go out to bars and movies or whatever else. It's like, no, no, no. He was focused. And he kept his calendar busy because he knew if he went out to do the bars and the drinking, that was counterproductive and wasn't going to make him money. So that's where he's talking about the devils in the white space, because it gives you too much opportunity to do something counterproductive.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Because so we say he, we're talking about Grant Cardone. I'm sure you've heard us mention this name before. He's very 10x. He does everything 10x, which is the way we want to be. And I really like that. If it's not making him money, he said no to things. He also says to say yes to everything possible, but obviously be smart about that. Say yes to everything possible that you can put in your calendar that is going to be productive towards your goals. He says even if you have to make stuff up to fill in missing slots, you have a missing half an hour in your day, you think, great, I'll take that to chill, kick my feet up, and then I'll go again. No, don't do it. Find something to do in that time and make some cold calls, just anything. He said that you should be running from place to place. And so this is a very 10x thing to say, but it's so true. Just keep your calendar full right until when you wake up to when you choose to finish your work day. Obviously don't, not 10 a.m., but keep it full. Like, don't have the missing white spaces in your calendar. This is something that has made me feel so much more productive, and I just get so much more done. So, very important. Very important.
Yeah.
To add to this, or to aid this, he says to this audio is so funny. He says to go to bed early is the next point. If you can control the time you go to sleep, you can control the time you wake up, and if you can wake up bright and early, beat the sun up, as Grant Cardone says, you can control your whole day. So control when you go to bed, and you'll have so much more control throughout the day. What do you think about this point?
Yeah, I think it's true. Like, I like that. Because he says when you go to sleep, you control your life. I like that. I think it's so he goes to bed at 9 a.m. and gets up, I think was it 5 or 4:30? I think it's 5. I don't remember. Yeah. But yeah, so I go to bed early, and whether I go to bed early or not, I still wake up at 5. So
yeah, and this is something we talked to our coach David about as well recently. I get up early. I've been trying. I have been getting up at 6:30 and starting my day then, instead of, like, technically I don't need to start my day till 10 a.m. But getting up earlier just allows for so much more time for you to mentally prepare for the day. He says obviously being rested is crucial word of the day. But he also says after 9 or 10 p.m., if you're not producing, go to bed. You're probably not doing anything of service to you. You're taking in bad information from TV, or you're scrolling through TikTok, which is what I'm very guilty of. You're not doing anything proactive. So if it's 10 p.m. and you're not producing, get to bed. Go to bed. We're doing pretty well. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this may well need to be a 4-part series, which I don't mind, because
I don't mind either. I think it's important.
So important. And we could rush through these points. We could, but we want you guys to actually take away what you need to take away from these points. So we won't do that. But the next point is, which I found quite random, to be honest at first, is be the first up in your neighborhood. But I think the point he's getting across with that is get up early. Get up with the sun / beat the sun up, which is because he's 10x, he does, to give yourself a head start for the day, which I've definitely felt it does. And I know, Misty, you have crazy hours in your schedule. Do you feel better when you're up early because you're up so early?
I do. When I get up early, I'll get up like before everybody else where I live. I'll even go out and wash my car at 4 a.m. because it's like I feel like I get so much more done, and I don't feel like I'm living in a fishbowl, like where everybody's watching me, because I can have stuff done outside before everybody else is up, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on here?" But it's like I can get all my stuff done outside, and I don't have to feel like I'm being watched, and I just feel more comfortable. And then I can come in and get more stuff done inside, and it just kind of keeps me going. I do have to, by time midday, take a nap, but that's okay. 25-minute nap here or there, I'm good to go. Good to go, again. And I think that I accomplish more when I get up earlier.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's such a powerful feeling that comes with getting up early and having things done before people are even up. By the time for example, all the people I live with, sorry everyone, I'm gonna talk about you, but by the time I'm up at 6:30 and I go to the gym, by the time I'm back, I can hear their alarms going off, or they're just sometimes not even up yet, or they're just having breakfast, and I'm ready to start working, and it just puts you in such a good position, I think, and a head start, as he says. He says, be ethical, but don't play fair. Get up early. You don't have to get up when everyone else gets up. Those 9 a.m. alarms. I think he said, I'm not sure if this is on another point, and I'm just skipping a little bit, but he says get up 2 hours before you have to be somewhere or do something. At least 2 hours to give yourself the time to wake up. Which is so true. So true.
Yeah. My mom always said she didn't couldn't function before 10 a.m. So she'd wake up at 8 or 7 or 8 just so she could get started and kind of start waking up.
Yeah.
That way by time 10 o'clock came around, she's ready to function.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I need at least 3 hours to get my head. Don't talk to me for 3 hours after I wake up. But yeah, he says the motivation will come. It will be hard at first. And by the way, I think this will probably be our last point. And we'll do the rest of time management on another episode. We're just over halfway through time management. So what I was saying is it's hard at first. It's the first week that I was getting up at 6:30 and dragging. When I say dragging myself out that door to go to the gym. It was so hard, and I didn't do it every day. I failed. I don't like to use the word failed, but I didn't do it some days, and I did feel bad about it. But I knew that it is a learning process, and it's just a matter of time before it becomes habit, and the motivation will come. You just have to trust the process
and keep doing it. Stay consistent. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing with all of these, I think, is just consistency. You can implement, and you can implement, and you should. I encourage you to implement all of these things, but it won't be perfect at first. You'll mess up. You'll forget something. Something will go wrong, but you'll learn and you'll adapt. And consistency before greatness. Yeah, trust the process.
Yes. And this process will can put you years ahead in your life when implemented the right ways. Put you years ahead, make you feel more confident. You get more done. It's just an overall better well-being, I think.
Exactly.
I'm afraid to too much because it sounds like it gets louder every time I talk. So it's like...
No, I know. I feel like whenever you talk, my face is like this because I'm really trying to understand. It's so funny. I hope that viewers I hope you guys can't hear it because it's hard to understand. But yeah, it's okay. Things happen. Everything will be okay.
I think next week we can kind of recap a little bit. Hopefully the audio will have better, but we can recap a little bit to make sure they didn't miss anything.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think I heard a little birdie say that we may have Chibaria on again with us next week. So we'll see if we can get her on again because it's super exciting when she's on. I love it.
Would you guys like that? Who
I would.
Chibaria, if you would like to
Chibaria
and share all her insights too. We're all learning the same thing, so she'll have plenty to say on this too. So if you're excited for Chibaria to be back on this hangout, comment on Chibaria and send her some love. So yeah, thank you Misty for doing this with me and putting up with my bad connection. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching if you're live or on the replay. We hope that you found some value in these tips, and we're not done here. It's not finished. We have so much more, and then we still have success rituals to cover. So make sure that you keep up to date. We post most days about the hangouts. They're always at the same time, always on the same day, different topics. Yeah, if people want a certain topic, is that allowed?
Yep. If we do have it at a different time, it's because one of the core family who we're trying to get on is in a different time zone. So we're trying to do it when they're awake as well as we are. So that's usually the only time it should be different. And that's because we do value everybody and we think that what they have to say is very valuable and everybody can benefit from it. So yeah. Yes. I'm super excited for next week.
Yes, I'm so excited, and yeah, thank you everyone for being here. Make sure you are here next week if you want to see Chibaria. A little birdie, and she might be here, she might not, who knows. And the week after we might have a very special someone too. So lots of exciting people being brought on. And yeah, thank you everyone.
I'm so excited. Hey, you guys ready? Ready? Okay. Ready for the song? Here we go. Bye, guys.
Closing is always easy when you're in Cardone U. We role play with Grand Cardone's team. They know just what to do. They're always there to support us. We couldn't ask for more. On our way in the right direction, we found what we're looking for. In FLC, closing is better with appointment setters. You'd better believe we're not a team but a family. We work together in harmony. We are devoted, and that you can quote me in FLC. We welcome the newbies gladly. We know there's so much to learn. We've got your back for a lifetime. There's no need for concern. Just look at the world around you. There's deals to close everywhere. And if you face an objection, what would Jabari say? In FLC, in FLC, objections are easy. If you don't believe me, I have to agree. We can role play at any time. To disagree, that is a crime. We're practicing to get the cha-chings in FLC, in FLC. Since we started training, our leads ain't complaining. They're so happy. Da, 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 da. We get to role play with Big Brother Dave. We've got Coach Sean, the best coach ever born in FLC. All of our closers, they keep their composure. 10x is the goal, Uncle G, well he knows. We've got the spirit, and you've got to hear it. We're FLC.